is that Rick?
It is, yeah. How you doing?
Hi there, it's Rachel here from Bounce Magazine. How are you?
Hi, how's it going? You alright?
Yeah, good, thank you. Not too bad at all.
Roman candles that burn in the night, yeah, you are a shining light. You lit a torch in...
The band once said that you wouldn't record another full-length album, but obviously you're back with a new album, Kablammo. So how did that come about?
I think with the, after we said we weren't going to do an album, we did the A to Z series, which was releasing like 26 singles in 1 year. And then I think when we came to the end of that, we sort of realised that it's like there's no way we're ever going to sort of top this.
Yeah.
In terms of like continuing the single release thing. And also in the sort of intervening years, like since we announced that we weren't going to do albums, it seemed that the album format had sort of like revived, especially with the with the vinyl becoming like super cool and people like buying into sort of having physical copies. I mean, I think when we announced that we were going to do albums, it was like 2007.
Yeah.
Album sales were like they were dropping off the edge of a cliff, really, and people seemed to be just like cherry picking their favorite tracks off albums. And we wanted to do something that reflected that. It felt like the rest of the music business was just sort of burying its head in the sand over that. We felt we needed to do something proactive, but I think with the sort of like vinyl becoming sort of more stable again, we were kind of like back into the idea of doing it again, because we've always released in vinyl, even during the A to Z thing.
Yeah.
We put out every single on vinyl as well.
One of my next questions, actually, obviously the times have changed since the release of 1977.
Yeah.
People now download tracks online as opposed to buying the full album from the shops. This has affected the way that you as a band produce music now, but has it had a huge impact on you as a band?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I mean, it's been a huge change. It's like I guess it's kind of weird. We just came back from an American tour, and there was like a few people like getting cassette signs that they'd bought back in 95, 96.
I don't think I have anything to play a cassette on now.
I guess some do actually. Maybe we put out the first single on cassette.
You must have a few gigs in a year that stand out, ones that you particularly enjoy.
Yeah.
If they're more intimate and.
Yeah, I guess at that, the start of that year as well, it was like we were very close to bankruptcy when we put out Shining Light as well, which that's one of our sort of like best known songs. I think when we were recording that song, the record company were like really unsure about it, but we were like adamant that was the best. The record company were not going to pay for you to record that, and we were like pretty much spent the last of our money to record that and then delivered it to them, and they're like, okay, you guys are right. So it was like, sort of like, I guess when we were so young and felt, we could take like massive risks like that.
You said that you were fairly young. I believe you met Tim and Mark around the age of 16, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tim and Mark have been playing together actually since they were like 11 years old.
Yeah.
And then I hooked up with those guys when I was like 16, they were still like 15. And that was like the start of Ash. They'd previously had another band and sort of kicked all the other members out, sort of stripped it down to just the three of us. Mm-hmm. And like sort of like before I knew it, like a week later, we were recording our first demos.
And would you say that your music style has changed at all, obviously, since you exploded onto the scene in the 90s? Listening to the new album, there are still real glimpses of some kind of old school sounds in there. But would you say that as a band, your style has changed at all, or are you still...
Yeah, I mean, I think with the new album, it kind of feels like we've come full circle because, with the, after saying we weren't going to do an album again, we were very conscious of, okay, well, if we are going to do this, we got to come up with something that's going to like stand up against, like 1977 or For Real Angels, which are, they still our probably best known work. So that was the pressure, and those were kind of the benchmarks. It's probably the first time that we sort of looked back at what we've done in the past and sort of like tried to live up to it. And I think previously with especially with the sort of like A to Z stuff, that was about sort of like pushing the boundaries of where we were comfortably as musicians, and like incorporating like different sounds, different songwriting styles. But with this, it feels like we've come full circle, really.
In my memories being misplaced, suddenly all comes back. And as I look to the stars, I remember the time when you were gone from Mars. I don't know if you knew that.
As a band, you have to listen to other artists too to see obviously what's going on. But is there anyone that particularly you enjoy listening to that might have had some kind of influence on how you portray yourself, or?
I don't know. I mean, still do try and listen to like new music, but in terms of influences, I think we've got we've got our own thing, and maybe try and incorporate a little bit of stuff into that. But it's like we are our own thing, and we are we kind of just influence ourselves kind of at this.
That's a good way to be. Definitely.
Yeah.
In the past, Van Halen famously requested a bowl of M&Ms without the brown ones as part of their rider. Who in the band has made the most outrageous request, or are you all down to earth lads?
I think in the very early days of the band, I think when 1977 came out, we did put oxygen on the rider. It was just like, and I think we actually did get a canister of oxygen on the rider. There was no way to. There was no mask or anything to do with it, so it was kind of pointless. But
I guess you have to try these things.
It's just I think that's definitely the most outrageous sort of thing we put on there.
Today, asleep in the chair by the window, it felt as if you'd returned up.
So, who is the most sensible one in the band?
I don't know. I guess we probably take turns at it. I think overall it'll probably be Tim, because he's like on the road. He's that conscious of looking after his voice, so he can't he can't cut loose as much as he would like to. But we've all gone through periods of it's like me and Mark have got kids now, so we've definitely sort of calmed it down somewhat. But you still pick your battles and have like certain nights where it's like the old days, but you can't I'm 40 now. I can't do like 3 nights in a row like I used to.
Well, I'm coming up to 30 and I can't barely do one now, so I completely appreciate that. So who would you say was the lady magnet in the band over the years?
I'd definitely say Tim. Yeah, he's got the looks for it. Being the front man of the band. As well.
I was going to say, does being the front man have anything to do with that? But no, that's fine. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to ask this question while the others weren't around. That's
fine. I'm happy with it that way as well. It means he gets all the attention and I get all the booze.
Going back to your past material, one of my favourite songs in particular is Girl from Mars. And I remember just passing my driving test, and it was one of the songs that I'd blast up on the radio and I just really sing very badly to. Out of your old material, what song do you enjoy playing the most?
Girl from Mars is fun, but it's just had its 20th anniversary as well since it came out. But it's kind of a weird one to get your head around, because it's also like probably since that song was since it was released, it's we played it at every single show. I don't think there's a show we haven't done it, but I think we've been like recently we closed the set with Burn Baby Burn. It's just like a real good sort of burst of energy at the end of the set, so I really enjoy that. But
almost end on a high.
Yeah. I don't know. We've never been the band that sort of shied away from playing the hits.
No, that's really great.
we like feeding off the energy we get from the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was taking me over. And oh yeah, it was the start of the summer.
So you've got a UK tour starting in December with 11 dates in the UK and Ireland. What are you looking forward to about it the most?
Yeah, well, I think we're just before that tour. We're doing a couple of weeks in Europe with We Are Scientists, which will be fun. We're doing like a co-headline tour on a bus with them together. So that'll be fun. It'll be a good way to get us warmed up for the UK tour. So I think after that we'll be doing quite short sets and that. So it'll be nice to sort of like do a full thing. But I'm just looking forward to getting out and doing like a good run of shows in the UK, because when the album came out, it was like we're kind of into festival season at that point.
Yeah.
So we only did like a handful of dates there. So it'd be nice to actually get out and feel like we're properly touring it. And,
yeah, of course.
Getting to play all over the country rather than just like the main cities. So.
Oh yeah, she was taking me over. Oh yeah, it was the start.
Do you ever get bored of being on tour?
Yeah, I wouldn't say bored, but you do miss your home life.
Yeah.
As well, especially having kids and stuff like that. But it's there's lifestyle can sort of like drain you somewhat. But yeah, it's always that's like if you're being focused on the gigs, that's the most important thing.
You mentioned We Are Scientists earlier. Are there any bands or acts that you particularly enjoy hanging out with, and what do you get up to?
Well, yeah, we're good mates with like Scientists. We share management with them, and they're it's just like hanging out, having a few beers. But other bands, we're good friends with Snow Patrol as well. Haven't seen them in a while, but yeah, it's always good to play with those boys.
What comes next for you as a band? Are you planning to launch any further material, or are you just looking forward to sort of touring and doing the festivals next year?
Yeah, well, I think we've got a bunch of stuff left over from the Kablammo sessions. We've got about 6 songs there, so we need to sort of find a home for them, figure out what we're going to do with them, whether it's like a proper release or do an EP, or I don't know. We need to figure out what we're doing with those, but we also want to get into the studio as soon as possible. Like maybe early next year, we'll starting some new material, because we were kind of really buzzing doing the previous record. And we just want to keep that rolling. But we've also got a lot of touring coming up. We're hoping to continue touring Kablammo next year as well, like in sort of like Australia, Asia.
Oh wow! So you get to travel quite a bit then.
Yeah, hopefully South America as well, but we've no firm plans yet, but they'll be touring that. And also we've got the 20th anniversary of 1977 next year, so we need to figure out what we're going to do around that as well. It'd be good to celebrate that. Yeah,
that's a great milestone. Obviously, that's making me feel really old now. So. It's not until you look back
you think it makes me feel?
Oh. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and the answers that you've given me have been really great, and I'm sure our readers will really enjoy reading it. I'm going to personally try and get along to the show at Norwich, because it's not far from me. So
okay, cool. That'd be great. Yeah.
As a fan myself, I'll really look forward to that. But I'll leave you for now, and thank you ever so much, Rick, for your time, and best of luck for the tour.
Great, well, great chatting to you,
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you in December.
Yeah, definitely. Great stuff.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
See you then. Bye. Bye.
Oh yeah, she was taking